Hello there and welcome to another live stream. My name's Shane Olson and I love to sculpt stylized 3D characters, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. Sculpting another one from my good friend Joshua Black. He's a phenomenal concept artist. Go check his work out over at Josh Hunter Black on Instagram. All right, welcome. Hey Neil, let's get to it. All right, so let's assess this guy here. I think I might just, I don't usually do this, but I might just do his entire head in one shape. Hey Brad, welcome. Hey Mark. Okay, let's see. In fact, I think I'm gonna use the appendage brush because it's already kind of in the shape of his head, but I need to rotate it down. Look at that. It's almost his head shape already. Okay. How is everyone doing? Heard word, I'm great. Thank you very much. I'm better now because I'm sculpting. Okay. I'm going to subdivide this up. Well, not quite yet. Let's turn on dynamic at least. Get it smooth. And start to work out these shapes. Hey Thomas, glad to hear you're doing well. Do you hear the music? You're not supposed to hear the music. Let me turn it down. It should be muted. Hold on. Hold on a second. I might have it too loud in my headphones, and my headphones are too close. Is that better? I don't want to get ousted. Okay. Can you still hear that? Oh my gosh, what's going on? Okay, maybe I can't do music. Dang it. I know. Well, I like the music, but it's copyrighted, so I'll get hit with infringement. Yeah. Yep, erasure. Listen to a little erasure. Well, what in the heck? Why is it doing that? It should not be. My desktop audio is muted, and these are open back headphones, but they don't have that much leakage, so I don't know what's going on. What's up, Mr. Olson? Hey. How would you suggest starting the body for characters with similar shapes like the female characters in the Incredibles animation movie? Yeah, I turned it off, thanks. Well, I would just look at those bodies for reference and then block them out just like I block out all of my bodies just with primitive shapes. Just use those for reference. I'm not hearing any music. I turned it off now. Hey, Kenya. Yeah, I turned off the music. Again, I don't want to get hit with copyright, so I turned it off, darn it. I might be able to keep it super, I don't know if I have it super quiet, if you can still hear it. Tell me if you can. Well, the song's ending, so. Is my video stream not my name again? Dang it. Whose name is it? Ian showed me how to change it, and I cannot recall. Oh goodness, I don't know who it shows that I am. Layla. Okay, so she streamed last night, I believe, or she's streaming next. One of the two. Goodness. Okay. Layla. Okay. Well, I guess I'm Layla today. You all know when I stream, so you can hear it again. Some of it itches. Okay. Why? Alright, I'll just turn it off. Okay. Well, dang it. Oh well, whatever. I'm musicless today. I'll just sing in my head. Alright. You know what? I'm already running out of geometry down here, so I'm just going to go ahead and apply this dynamic subdivision and then delete the lower subdivision levels. And then adjust this polygon size a little bigger, like that, maybe. There we go. Okay. Now I shouldn't run out of geometry. I was gravitated towards this concept because I really like this guy's head shape, and his expression is really funny. So he's like, what is he worried about? What's going on off screen, off camera? He's like, ugh. Like he's watching some kind of something going on. Something gross he doesn't like. Okay. Have you tried the new free auto rigging app, AccuRig? I have not. I don't typically rig my characters anymore. I used to, and I used to do it by hand in Maya, but I haven't for a long, long time. You know, I'm going to take my headphones off. I know, crazy, right? You can see my giant ears. But since I'm not listening to music, I don't have a reason to wear headphones. Oh my gosh, Eric, you're right. Oh, that's hilarious. So one of my students made this cursed Teletubby, and he is indeed cursed. He's pretty disturbing. I have next week off, so I'm hoping to make some serious progress in your course. Awesome, Thomas. That's great. That's great. Can't wait to see what you do. Okay, I'm just kind of flood filling this with this is called Sculptus Pro, which is like dynamic topology, which is made up of little triangles and squares. The reason I like this so much is because I don't really run out of geometry when I'm making this stuff. So I like it a lot. Well, the way you have the reference image position, it's like he's disturbed by what you're sculpting. You know what? That's not far from the truth, probably. He's like, ugh, what is that? Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. And it looks like he's backwards. I have his, to pull his back further out than the front here, so he doesn't look so backwards. Yeah, any students in here that haven't yet, we have a live sculpting, I want to call it a live sculpting corner, a little channel in our private Discord channel, private for students. If you don't know, I teach an online course called the 3D Character Workshop, and if you're part of that workshop, there is a Discord server that goes along with it, and inside there, there's some live sculpting that happens on a daily basis. Okay. I try to hop in there when I can, but I don't want to intimidate people, so I don't hop in there that often. Because I just want people to go in there and have a good time, you know? Sometimes I feel like if I'm in there, it's like it becomes another, like a learning session, and I don't want it to be that. I just want it to be a hang out and have fun session, you know? Hearing Redshift renders coming to ZBrush. That's what they announced. Wondering how much extra that might be. I believe it's not. It just comes with the, well, yeah, I don't work for ZBrush, so I'm only a volunteer here, and I don't know exactly what they said during the ZBrush summit. They did say Redshift is coming, but I don't know about the pricing, if there's any difference between the regular version or if you need a copy of Redshift, like need it, or if there's extra functionality or something like that. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm gonna use this good old this knife cut brush. How do you get the cute virtual hand? So well captured. This is it's just an overlay in OBS called Spud Arm. And I made this arm, it's my bear's arm that I rendered out. And then I put it in there. So thanks for the compliment. Okay, we're just gonna slice that off the bottom there. Spending my time on the course. Unreal 5. Unreal 5 is so fun to play with. Yes, I like how the reference image ZBrush can have the cutout look. That's just, so in ZBrush, anything that is 100% black, so it has to be, it can't be one pixel value off of 100% black. Well, that's not true, but mainly you want to just go for 100% black, and anything that's 100% black will get dropped out as if it's an alpha channel inside of ZBrush. So in Photoshop, I actually take these black lines and I value them up so they're not 100% black. That's why they don't disappear. Okay. Finish making an iPhone in Maya. Nice. Okay, let's see. Let's get his nose and his ears and all that. Really fun. Hey, Andre, welcome. I'm going to shape this head a little bit more. I want it really square. From the front and the back and the sides. His head is really square. Okay. And I hope you guys are sculpting along with me today. Not necessarily making this guy. I mean, you can if you'd like, but at least sculpting something. Because, and I've borrowed this from Bob Ross, every day's a good day when you paint, is what he says. Every day's a good day when you sculpt. I wholeheartedly believe that. It's fun to just get lost in it. Making something with your hands that's creative. It gets you in that Zen state in your brain and helps you forget about your woes and what's going on with the world sometimes, you know? So you can just get lost in your art. Okay. Let's get these. I'm just going to put some eyeballs, just kind of some placeholder eyeballs so I can sort of see what's happening here. Turn off Sculptris Pro for a minute. Hey, Synopsis, how are you? Now I do want these eyes larger. Okay, now if I separate this, split unmask points, it will put it into its own subtool that I can then turn on. And then I can turn on transparency and I can see where these spheres are sitting in the head. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the geometry of the head back to reveal those spheres, but I want them in the proper location. Okay, I'm going to turn on dynamic smoothing. Other bus, what happened to your variety? Animals, aliens, anything different? I still think thing would be great. Hand study with stitches and showing movement. Yeah, I occasionally mix it up. I just saw this bust and I liked it a lot, so I wanted to sculpt it. I'll do a variety of things. It just depends on what I find that day and what I feel like sculpting, you know. And I think more people can learn more watching me do a bust than they can a whole body. A whole body gets long and slow. Like when I did the cowboy and the pirate girl, I did that over several months and it kind of got slow. And I also like to save my full characters for my students as well. Yeah, I do need to do some more animals and stuff. Those aren't slow. Has any companies ever asked you to do voiceover work? I just wanted to ask because when creating, we sometimes tend to have our opinions on how the characters would and should sound. I have done some voiceover work in the past. Not really professionally. It's more like temporary voices for games that I've worked on. but nothing really that I could say professionally. Okay, let's get a nose in there. That's really the thing that's going to sell this guy, I think. I want to turn up the density of the, there we go. Can you from, I don't know what you're asking. Sorry, can you from me a pics? I don't understand. Okay. Even if your voice wasn't used in the final product. Yeah, I mean, I voiced, I was Sully in Disney Infinity. I did the temporary voice for him until the real voice guy came and did it. And I don't even think then it wasn't the guy who voiced Sully in the theater or in the movie. It was like the voice guy that does all the voices for him for everything else. Okay, let's do a nose on here. There, clown nose done. Hey Aika, how are you? Okay. Now this, I'm trying to think of how I want to do this nose. I think I might do it in 2 or 3 pieces. Maybe more if you count each nostril as its own piece. Good, good. Well, that's good. Okay. Now one thing that's fun about this nose, see how it's got that flat section on the bridge here? I can actually use this knife cut brush to cut it. And as I'm dragging this out, I can tap Alt and it makes a point in space that will let me turn the line. So I can cut it like this and it will give me a polygroup on the surface. Setting up my materials for the sculpt off render. Awesome. Hey Makara, welcome. Were you in a rush to create and get your name out there when you were younger? And what would your advice to younger artists be today? How would you approach all that stuff? I was not in a rush. I was actually just completely fascinated by 3D when I was younger. Because I started back in 1998. You have to think about, or 1990. Yeah, 1998 was when I got my first job in gaming industry. I worked for a company called Sapphire, and I worked on a fighting game called Xena Warrior Princess Fighting Game for the Nintendo 64. That was my first foray into game art. And before that, I was just at school. And when I was at school, I was thinking I was going to go into the film industry. I was thinking, because Toy Story 1 had just came out. That's how long ago I got into the industry. Toy Story 1 had just come out, and then Blue Sky was doing some of their films, but I was always a video gamer, so and there weren't any film studios in Utah where I'm from. And so I just happened to get a job doing games, and I really enjoyed it. So I didn't really seek it out, as it were, that much. But advice for today, I would just focus on what you want to do, like what drives you, what are you passionate about, and I would advise you to be on your own. What am I trying to say? You're not, I wouldn't look at other people or other artists or other game artists, film artists as being competition to you, even though they are. I wouldn't look at it that way. I would look at it as if you are on your own journey, and just make sure your latest sculpt is better than your previous one, and then just keep leapfrogging and getting better and better and better. So I wouldn't get intimidated, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I know it's easy to say, hard to do, because you look at other artists that have been doing it for a while, and they make it look so easy. But you're on your own journey. Follow your passion. If you want to do games, do games. If you want to do film, do film. You might end up doing something like me that you weren't thinking about in the first place. Like I wasn't even really considering games at the time. I just kind of ended up there. Does look like a cool stylized bird. I'm just trying to block in these nostrils here. There's some pretty crazy nostrils. Okay, I need to bring this in a lot. We'll curl down and actually make that shape. Just been sculpting and building my character making skills, and sometimes I might post work in progress to kind of show my abilities. Yep, that's what you do, and just kind of, because all a portfolio is, and I've said this a lot, is you're basically showing a company or a freelance person or some place where that could pay you for your services. You're essentially just showing them that you can do the work that they want you to do. That's what a portfolio is. Well, that's what a professional portfolio is if you're trying to get work. Yeah, Spud Arm is just an overlay for OBS. It's kind of it's just a simple little program that just makes it's like two images. There's just two images. There's the hand, and then there's the arm, and then you overlap them to make the pen point at the little pointer, and then the wrist twist. See how it twists as it goes down? And it stretches as it goes up? Yeah, that's all it really does. It looks fancier than it is. And then I just rendered out that hand from one of my models. Okay, I need to make this nose. Let's see. Really fun to see the stuff people do with virtual streaming. Yeah, for sure. I've thought about making. I have a bear that is sort of like a caricature of me a little bit, and I've wanted to turn him into a VTuber bear, just for fun. I just have so much other stuff going on. I haven't gotten around to it. It's not super high on my list of things I need to get done. I found a person that said that they would rig it up for me, so I just need to get it done. Hey, Unstable, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. I like the name. Thought I'd make another shape act as this cheek meat. Cheek meat. It's official. Oh, it's Harry Mandibles. You know what's funny? It almost occurred to me that that's who you were. And I'm just like, wait a minute, it's not, because the name is almost the same length in words. Like when I first glance, I'm like, oh, it's Harry Mandibles. Wait a minute, no, it's not. It's Unstable Molecules. Oh, funny. That's crazy. But welcome. Hey, how's it going? I like both names. Either one works. Are you still doing that accelerated course? Kind of, kind of. I have room for possibly one more. If you're interested, just send me an email. I'm working on. I haven't really mentioned it too much, but I'm working on a new platform for my course, like a new place to host my course that has a built-in community with it. Um, so I've been really busy with getting that going, and I should be able to. Oh, strange. Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna do auto groups and mirror this. That's funny how it made the head white. Usually white indicates it's going to be subtracted when you Dynamesh. Do it one more time just for fun. Okay, mirror and weld that. Local symmetry. Okay. Okay, sounds good. Or you can just message me on Discord or something too. Either way. What's the max poly count a 3D resin printer can handle? That's a question that isn't really answerable, because it's more about file size, and you want to make your files the smallest they can be while still having the detail that you want, because you'll want to decimate all of your models so you can get them the lowest polygon count they can possibly be, and that just saves file size. So then you'll send that over to the printer. So I don't really think about polygon counts when I'm making it ready for a 3D printer. I'm just thinking about what's the lowest polygon count I can possibly have while retaining the detail of the model. And it's just a visual thing. It's not a, how many, like, it's not a number thing. Like I said, he's used files around 1 million. Yeah. Yeah, and that's pretty up there too. I think all of mine are, I don't know. I wish I could say, but I don't know. I don't pay attention. I just don't. Okay. Right now I'm just kind of flood filling this by hand just to give myself some extra geometry. Okay. I'm gonna really make this pointy. So I can turn on AccuCurve, and AccuCurve essentially will change the profile of the brush to be more pointy. So I can grab this, I'll turn on topological so I'm not grabbing the nose bridge underneath, but I can grab this nostril and see how sharp that is right there? I can pull it up and make it super sharp. Uh-oh. Ooh. I thought it was crashing. Every time I get something to lag, I'm like, I fear crashes. So let me save this. Okay. Josh Scared Guy 1. Okay. Oh, sorry, Bana. I've missed your comment. Your work is amazing. I'm Dan from Congo. Hello, Dan. Welcome. Okay, let's do a pinch. start to get that expression going on. Usually when I do a T-pose, remember to turn your AccuCurve off, by the way, when you're not using it anymore, or your brush will give you some strange results. But the more and more I sculpt, the less and less I tend to work in a neutral T-pose, because I'm more into 3D printing these days and less into game characters. So I tend to just sculpt in pose these days. These days? Okay. This guy's pretty fun. Cineversity at Maxon, huh? I don't think I've heard that before. I'll have to go check that out. Okay, and I have been enjoying making the upper and lower mouth shapes separate pieces. I'm going to do that with this guy. So funny, he has no lips. I guess he's got a little bit of a bottom lip, but his upper lip is pretty nondescript. And you'll see I can insert a sphere that has really low resolution, but if I want to crank the resolution, I have Sculptress Pro turned on. I can just hit Shift and just smooth it on up, add the same density of resolution, and then just keep working it, you know? I really like that workflow. It works out. I need to upgrade my FDM printer though. Maybe that Bamboo X Carbon. I don't know what that one is. Still happy with my Form 3 for actual character 3D prints. That's what I have and I love it, Neon. Form 3, you know, I have to say the Form brand of printers, they're like the Apple brand of printers. And the reason I say that is because they have their own kind of closed ecosystem. They have their own resins. They have their own like profiles. They have their own software. Everything is contained within their ecosystem. So you don't really buy external like resins or software or anything like that. You know, sometimes third parties will make print beds that are like what are they called? The flexible plates like you can get for the Saturn printers. You can't. Hey Layla, I saw that. I don't know. You know, Ian told me how to change names, and I'm just like, I can't remember how. I have to log into Restream and change things, or I can't remember. But anyway, I hope I do you justice. And welcome to the stream, by the way. Hello. I've watched a couple of your streams for a second. I haven't been able to sit and spend a lot of time watching you, but Layla's another streamer on here. the one I'm pretending to be. Okay, let's see. It's another piece for the lower lips. Shane Nelson. Oh, somebody changed it. Okay. It was Steven Anderson. Oh, you were Steven. Nice. Nice. Maybe Ian went in and changed it for me. So they have the ZBrush folks, they have meetings all day on Mondays, so their people are not around to change stuff. But Ian must have done it between meetings. Thanks, Ian, if that was you. Get you guys stream on Twitch at the same time. Yeah, I'm actually streaming to Restream is what they use, and Restream will stream to Facebook and YouTube and Twitch all at the same time, which is nice. Okay, I love this nose. It's fun. The nose. Yeah, you can actually stream even more places if you want, like to LinkedIn, and it's pretty crazy technology for what it does. I think StreamYard will do something similar. I'm going to turn up the density here. Ian is working at Maxon now. He is, yes. Yeah, Ian is actually one of my students, or he was. I think he outlearned me. Now he works for Maxon. Yeah, students are great. Ian is a great guy. He helps Paul do the presentations for Maxon, like during the ZBrush Summit. And he does the interviews, like how asks people how did they make this make their image. De-sharpen that edge a little bit. Okay, let's get his bottom lip in here. Let's see. And it's funny because it'll give me a count on people watching across all 3 platforms, which it says right now is 130. And I don't know how many are watching on each platform. So that'd be kind of fun if you guys could tell me how many people are on each platform. I'm always interested to know. I used to be more curious about that when I was first starting, but now that I've done it for, gosh, I think I've been streaming on here for 4 years. 47 on Twitch. Neil, yeah. 84 on YouTube. Okay, nice. It's interesting how there's a bigger audience on YouTube than on Twitch. I think I might redo that because I don't want to pinch just this one. Yeah, just like Brad. Oh, 94 on YouTube. Awesome. Very cool. And thank you all for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I know you have a whole bunch of better things to do than to watch me today, so I really appreciate that you've chosen to hang out with me and sculpt. It means a lot. YouTube's more for researching, and artists are always doing their thing research. Yep, for sure. That is the truth. I'm always on YouTube looking to learn stuff there. Okay, chin. Now I'm going to keep it round, and I want to make it kind of low. I'm looking at the roundness of this chin, and then I'll push it in and make his lower lip from it. Got a really funny little small chin in there. Okay, but again, this is pretty dense, or pretty light, so I'm going to just kind of sweep over it with Sculptress geometry and then start working it. Into his lower lip. And his mouth is open. I don't know why I'm taking it all the way up that high. Gotta get that frown in there. Kind of got this scared frown face. Round the lip out a little bit more. Hey Brad, how are you doing? You were here earlier, huh? Probably you're still here, I should say. Saying hi to you for a second time. This guy cracks me up. See, I choose my concepts on how funny I think they are sometimes, so I can enjoy sculpting them. Okay, mask this off. I mean, I could actually use this for his teeth. I could, because it's already there and it's already kind of the shape that I need it to be. Might as well, right? Reminds me of the actor from Fight Club. Oh, you're talking about Norton? What's his name? Yeah, kind of. Edward Norton. He played Hulk that one time. There. Now it's his teeth. Sweet. Hey, Brad. Sorry. All right, let's get. Are these both the same? They are. Okay. Whenever you get like two objects in the same poly group, what I could do is I could just isolate these two and just do auto groups. And it puts each one of them in its own group, and that way I don't have to regroup all this stuff and redo the mirror and weld, so we're good. Burned Out Embers, love your name. What are some of the struggles in doing stylized work? Well, I would say the biggest struggle when it comes to stylized is that usually your characters are very, very clean, so everything is exposed. Like Hulk says, it's like exposed like a nerve, right? So you can't really hide any of the flaws that you can with more realistic characters, you know, with, hey, what's up, Eric? You know, with like textures and clothes and wrinkles and all that extra detailed bits. You can hide a lot with that stuff. But with stylized characters, that if you're trying to be super duper clean, it's hard to hide that stuff, right? So, that's one of the, yeah, that's probably the biggest struggle that I have. That's why I'm kind of slow and meticulous when it comes to blocking my characters out, because I really want to I don't want to have any surface flaws if I can help it. Hair and fur indeed. Right. And hello, welcome to the stream. Okay. I do a lot of creature stuff, so it's a lot easier to get away with things. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, hide it with hair. Hide it with scales. Go slowly over this and then pinch it again. Matt Thorpe is a good friend of mine. I worked with him for many years at Disney Interactive. Yeah, so we have a similar workflow, a little bit different. And workflows change too. Like my workflow has changed since I worked there. Yeah, Matt's great. We actually gave a talk at the ZBrush Summit together. What's the brush that you just used for the lips? This is my pinch brush. And if you want to grab my pinch brush, I give away my user interface and all these brushes for free over on my website, 3dcharacterworkshop.com. You can check them out over there. And that brush started as the Ma cut brush. And speaking of Ma cut brush, the guy who made it he goes by Malachus the Black. He's not doing very well health-wise right now, and he's in my thoughts a lot. Met him at the ZBrush Summit one year. Super nice guy. New to ZBrush. I also have a course over there you can check out too, the 3D Character Workshop. And it is, if you're really serious about getting into ZBrush and stylized characters, it is for beginner artists as well as intermediate and advanced. Am I going to do a mouth bag? Not this time. I'll just do teeth. Yeah, it's funny. I I just cheated and used the head shape as the teeth. Totally cheat. Ethan Olson, I like your last name. I'm curious, how long does it take you to put together a course? I'm working on some ideas. Goodness. Well, the first course that I did took me a lot longer than it does now. I think it took me a good 6 to 8 months to put that first one together. And now I just kind of record as I go. And so now it kind of takes me just as long as it takes to make a character, because I'm just like this. I free flow and just talk about it. No, the Olsen twins are spelled O-L-S-E-N, and mine is O-L-S-O-N. And O-N is Swedish and E-N is Dutch. Now you know. Next time you're at a party, just like dropping facts. Okay. Gotta get some. He's missing ears and making him look earless. He can't hear what I'm saying. I'm sad I can't listen to music. I gotta figure out what's wrong. I'm all right. Yep. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and it just depends on how meticulous you are, and I'll get my recommendation is to like script it all out first. Even if you're not going to read from the script, script it all out and then make yourself some bullet points and try and hit those bullet points as you go. Jacob, how'd you set up that hand? It is an overlay for OBS called Spud Arm. Hey, Dougie, the Bear Bears. My kids love those Bear Bears. Let's see. Got some really interesting shaped ears. I like how they cut way down here in the front. Okay. Whoop. A little too dense. Let me go a little lighter with it. Okay. Yeah, I've tried all sorts of different course delivery styles over the years. The very first one I did was I was scared to be in front of the camera, so I was reading a script, and the information was decent, but I sounded like a lifeless robot when I was reading from a script. So turns out I wasn't that big of a fan of that delivery. A lot of people liked it because it was short and to the point, and I could make short videos, but it just wasn't very friendly, you know, or entertaining for that matter. It wasn't very entertaining, and when you learn, you kind of to hold your attention, you kind of want to be a little bit entertained, you know. At least I do. I make my tutorials based off of what I like when I watch tutorials. I like to be able to understand the person that's trying to teach me. So heavy accents are kind of a no-go for me. And then people kind of reading from a script or with a lot of dead space when they're trying to speak. I just kind of like it when I like it to feel like I'm standing over your shoulder trying to teach you how to do this stuff. So you feel like you have a friend in your corner, and you know it's just you, and I'm just trying to tell you how to do stuff. Got to drop some dad jokes in, right? And some memes. Got to put some memes in there. It's always good. funny, Kenya. My wife just gave me a dad jokes calendar for Christmas. We did Christmas early because I had my grandson here this weekend. Anybody that quotes SpongeBob's an entertaining teacher, I do quote SpongeBob. There's one specific episode where he talks about sculpture, and it's my favorite episode. I think it's called Art Critic. And it's where where Squidward's trying to be a sculptor. Oh, it's hilarious. And SpongeBob's just natural at it. I like your newish method of make base shapes and adding geo with Sculptress. I sometimes trap myself with the old method box modeling, trying to keep poly count down for no reason. Yep, exactly. I think most people, just to kind of continue on that whole what do my students mostly like, as far as the feedback I've gotten, it seems like, because I've done some live courses, I've done some where it's kind of like this delivery right here, except for it's not live. I'm just talking to myself essentially, while the camera's going, and it seems like students like that way the most, because then it's not interrupted with a bunch of people asking me questions along the way, which that happens live, and so I kind of go off on tangents, and then the video ends up being longer than it needs to be. Oh, thank you, Dilshad. Welcome, welcome. Okay. So I think moving forward, I'm just going to teach that way, like semi-live, like act as if it's live, but it's not live. That's so important. I've been working on trying to keep a natural vibe, but using a script to help the flow of the videos. Self-recording is a learning process. Yeah, it's, and having a bullet pointed list of things that you want to cover is also, if you want to be like natural, but try and remember everything. Like I said, reading from a script is kind of doesn't really work for me anymore. So I just want to have it natural. So I give myself bullet points and make sure, you know, it's just off to the side on the different monitor, so I can see if I, just make sure I hit all the points that I wanted to talk about. Artist unknown. Thank you, Neil. That's the one. What did I say? I said something else. Wasn't that one. Artist unknown. Sculpt's a perfect sculpt with one hit. I said, I think it was Art Critic. I thought it was Art Critic, because that Art Critic comes in, he wants to buy the thing. Squidward tries to take the credit for it. Tries to put his nose on there to make it perfect. Oh my gosh. Okay. Jacob. Oh, yep, exactly. Putting the Squidward nose on there. Now it's mine. Oh man, it's such a perfect episode. Okay, let's see, where are we at here? Let's do the eyelids next. I'm gonna move this cheek bit down a little bit to make some room for it. So I want it to cut, see this right up in here. Okay. I'll duplicate these eyeballs. Isolate them, try and get this in the middle, but it's not going to be right in the middle because it's crossing the center lane. Scoot that over just a bit, then I can scale these up. And I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to make one the upper eyelids and one the lower eyelids. Hide this one. And I'm going to use the knife brush. I like the knife brush. It's a fun new addition. Excuse me. I can just do something like this and go quink. That's awesome. I'm going to leave it. No. Since I crossed the center, it didn't do it symmetrically. That's hilarious. Okay. So it looks like he got beat up. It's like, oh, oh. Okay. So I'm going to flip this, mirror, and then mirror and weld it with local symmetry turned off. Oh, that's funny. Okay, mirror and weld. Boom. There we go. NVIDIA has demoed an AI that makes 3D models. Should artists be concerned? I don't know. I can't really like think about that stuff too much because it'll either make me depressed or I don't know. I don't know enough about it. But I don't want to sit and worry myself about it, you know? Same with AI art in general. I just don't want to sit and worry myself because it doesn't really do you any good. Because it's not going to change either way, you know? Okay, there's a hole in there I want to get rid of. I'm not... It's got this crisscrossy here. Let me do this auto group thing. No. So close it. Close the hole. Why do you know close hole? Okay, well, I'm going to try and fix this by pulling all the garbage to the right. That's how you fix stuff. So if I turn on the floor and you have something symmetrical that is just not working out for you, right? Like this thing. It's like it's ignoring that it has a big hole in it. Okay. You can basically just pull everything from the left across this center line, and then when you do a mirror and weld, it'll fix it. So I'm just going to kind of pull this over with symmetry turned off, by the way. Okay, just get all that over there. And now we do a mirror and weld, and it should magically fix it. It did. Nice. Yeah, unstable molecules, absolutely. You know, and I feel the same way about Twitter. Everybody's freaking out about Twitter or ArtStation or whatever, and it's just like, you know, when you're driving on the freeway or on the, you know, you're just driving in your car, and this happens all the time when it's called overcorrect. That's when something's in your way, instead of lightly steering around it and then you start to go out of control a little bit, so you overcorrect to go back, and it ends up rolling your car, right? I feel like that's happening in AI and in, you know, ArtStation, Twitter, all this stuff going on, is that people are just overreacting and it's just like, just relax. It'll work itself out. Just relax. It's okay. You know, Twitter's not going anywhere. ArtStation's not going anywhere. Don't freak out. Don't go buying toilet paper. There's no reason. Just relax. It'll be okay. AI is just another tool. When the first graphics table came around, there wasn't a mess. Yeah, well, like video killed the radio star. Every time there's some new tech coming out, it's like, it's gonna kill everything. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what snack huck brush. What is the snack huck brush? Move brush. What different between them? Oh, snake hook. I'm like, snake hook brush. So the difference between the snake hook brush and the move brush, it's a great question. I'll show you right now. It's particularly with when you're using Sculptress Pro, which is dynamic topology. So if I use the snake hook brush, that will actually work with dynamic topology like this. Okay. And with the move brush, it does not work with Sculptress Pro. So it's not adding new topology. It's just stretching it out. And the snake hook also feels a little more spongy. It's like a little spongier, a little looser. Well, the move just like literally just pulls the surface out. So. Okay, let's see. Be a victim or a participant. There you go, D. Tamez, exactly. I mean, you don't have to be a participant per se. But you can just kind of disregard it and shrug it off and just go, it is what it is, and it, whatever. Let's see what happens. That's my take on it. Okay, so let's keep going with these eyelids. And I'll just tell you right now, and somebody else said it on Twitter, an art director is not going to want to direct somebody to make AI kind of, make something for their film or whatever. I can see it helping as far as like the look and feel and the lighting and that kind of stuff to help it out, but art directors are going to want to deal with people and be able to art direct them. They don't want to art direct somebody who's putting in something into an AI. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me why an art director would do that or want that, Use it to get past creative blocks. Absolutely. I mean, some of the stuff you see is just fascinating and it gives you ideas and you're just like, oh, I wouldn't have ever thought of that. I mean, it's because the AI stuff's not thinking. It's just grabbing stuff that other people have thought of and then sticking it together in a new way. And you're like, oh yeah, we could do it this way. I think I'm going to actually duplicate these and flip them around and see if that'll work. Yeah, that's faster. I'll delete these. Okay. Everyone freaking out about AI taking jobs are pretty silent when Fiverr became a thing. Yeah. Don't crash. Don't crash. Okay, I better save this. Like this forehead is a little too far forward. Forward head. What's up, forward head? Just pull that on back and round it out. Yeah, I wouldn't be too overall concerned with it. Just like digital ruining music, right? It's like everybody's like, oh, once things go digital, blah blah blah. And people just figure it out. Like Spotify or whatever, they just figure it out. I was playing with that chat AI the other day, which is really interesting to play with because you can say, write me a limerick about blah blah blah, and it does a really really good job, like a surprisingly good job of like rhyming and having it make sense. Better for rendering? Well, you're watching the official Maxon channel. So the answer that I'm supposed to say is Redshift is the best. Maxon product, Redshift. Which is pretty good. Write me a syllabus for my next 3D course. Yeah, right? Stations added the no AI tags that algorithms of AI platforms won't be allowed to use those artworks in the generation process. And I think that's good, but I think that should be on by default. And here's my take on, speaking of Spotify and AI and all that stuff. Here's my idea, and I posted this on Twitter in a response to, I think it was my friend Leslie's post or something. What I said was, it would be nice to have a service like Spotify that you could, as an artist, register your art. Man, this is really lagging. Hold on a second. I think I'm getting too heavy right here. So, okay, guys, if you ever get too heavy in your Sculptris Pro and it's just like your computer starts to lag, first thing to do is check to see if your objects have dynamic subdivision turned on. And if it does, turn it off. So these eyelids, making sure they don't. Okay. This one should have symmetry turned on. Okay, and this one does not use Sculptris Pro, so it does have dynamic. That's okay, because dynamic with Sculptris Pro will slow down your machine. But if you're still getting slowdowns and it's just not working out for you, what you can do is decimate your model. So I'm going to show you how to do that really quick. So if I go over to, turn draw off, if I go over to Decimation Master, you'll see these presets down here. Currently, this head is sitting at 200,000. Okay, about two. So I don't want to push 200,000 because it's going to give me the same polygon count. So I can drop it down to, say, 75. Let's try that. It's going to decimate this and just keep everything I need, but make it simpler, right? It does get rid of my poly count, or my poly groups. I think I can keep my poly groups, can't I? I can keep my poly paint, which I don't have any. Yeah, I don't know that I can keep my groups, but I'm just going to go, it's easy enough to fix auto groups and then do a mirror and weld. Do auto groups one more time to get some better colors. Whatever. Mirror and weld. There we go. Now we're back in action, and now we're down to 75,000 triangles, and that should speed up my machine. Can you explain how you get uniform Sculptris Pro coverage? Yeah, you use a thing called tessimate. And that's basically flood filling dynamic topology. Okay, so if you go and open geometry, it says tessimate right here. And if you move this slider around, it will flood fill your entire model, that subtool, with dynamic topology. Let's see. Who are you? My name is Shane. Hi. Welcome. That's who I am. First teeth, now eyelids. Hey, it's about working smarter, not harder, man. Yeah, keyshot's still a thing. Let's see. Hi Shane, can you explain how you get? I need to continue explaining my Sculptris Pro theory. Hold on a second. Or not Sculptris Pro, Spotify. They both start with S. My Spotify idea. Hold on a second. Okay, I have an issue. How do you join shapes together without seeing after the blockout stage? I use remesh by union. I'll use that here in a second. I'll show you how I use it. I don't use Dynamesh. I do not. I used to, but I no longer do. Probably Chrome gobbling up your memory. Oh, no kidding, right? I should shut my Chrome down. Yeah, Chrome is a hog. Okay, so here's my theory of how it could work with AI is using Spotify. If you could register your art with a service, let's just call it Artify instead of Spotify, right? Register your art with this service, and then and with this service, people that wanted to use AI would be paying a monthly fee to use this Artify service, right? Not the artists, but the people who would use AI to scrape from this big pool, just like you do with Spotify. You know, the artists, the musical artists aren't paying for Spotify. They just register their stuff with Spotify, and Spotify pays them if somebody listens to their song. So I was thinking with a service like Artify, artists could register their work with Artify if they wanted their stuff to be scraped. And then if an AI used their art they would get a kickback, just like Spotify gives the musical artists a kickback. So that I think that could work, because then the AIs wouldn't be scraping any art that people wouldn't want to be scraped, and then if they wanted it to, then they could, and they could get some money for it. So maybe that could work. I don't know. That's just an idea I had in my head one day after thinking about all this AI stuff. So maybe it would work. I don't know. Thanks, Layla. How do you like streaming, by the way, Layla? Do you like it? Layla's a fairly new streamer, right? Only been streaming a couple months so far. Okay. Let's get some browsing here. What are we at? The hour? Has it been an hour? Yeah. Okay. I've been drinking too much coffee. I might have to take a little break soon. Okay. Turn off Sculptris Pro for these eyebrows. Okay. This is just the topology brush. And then after you draw a bunch of quads on the surface, you can just tap, and it will take your brush size into consideration, and it will give you new thickness every time you tap on the surface. Not every time, I should say when you tap on the surface. But the AI stuff is open source, so anyone can just take it and feed it to ArtStation, tag or no tag. Well, yeah, so that's where the regulations would have to come in, right? Welcome, Tokefan. How you doing? Truly enjoy it. I used to stream on my channel before, but yeah, just 3 or so months on ZBrush channel. Media here is so friendly. Yeah, it's been great. And I like your brushes. Let's see. Sorry, she uses some of my brushes. Okay, split unmasked points. And then turn off creases. Subdivide it a couple times. Delete the subdivisions. That's not where I need to be. There we go. And inflate them a little bit more. And add some density. Maybe more. Okay, hopefully that's not too much. And then I really like the method that I've been using lately to make eyebrows with. I'm gonna actually scrape across the top with an H polish brush for a second, just to flatten that out. The cloth brush is so good. Yeah, well, it started as a standard brush. That one might have started as an SK brush, actually. He's another streamer on here. He does like anime girls, and he has some really great brushes. Do you have a custom pop-up menu? I do. And what is your call up hotkey for it? It's number 2 on my keyboard, not my numpad. The reason why I chose number 2 is because number 1 is assigned to repeat last action, which I didn't want to overwrite that, so I just chose 2. And then I map 2 to the back button on my pen. So then it just pops up right under my pen wherever it happens to be. And basically this list, this custom menu, I actually have a YouTube video on. Neil, would you mind popping that up there? I have a YouTube video showing exactly how to make a custom menu like this. And I basically pulled out parts from the tool menu that I use all the time, because the tool menu can get very long. especially when you have all these open, you know, if you start opening up all these sections, it gets really, really long. So I just pull over the things that I use the most and ignore the things I don't, unless, you know, if I need to use them, I'll go over there. But typically I'll just have it up underneath my pen, and it just makes my workflow very, very fast when I do it that way. Okay. Thanks, Neil. All right. Now I like to use this orb crack brush, which I've adjusted a little bit, and it's a carve brush, but it started as an orb crack brush. And essentially I can just cut in with this brush, start to separate out hairs like this. I just happened across this one day, and I like it. You can also hold Alt and pull it up as well. Get some peaks and valleys. It's fun. Let's get I want that end to kind of curve down like it is. Okay. Too fun. All right. Just cut in a couple more just to break up that edge down here. The hardest thing for me is to keep it not perfect. I tend to want to do it like evenly spaced, yeah, it's just, that's my biggest challenge. I have it. Okay, cool. I have it on Stylized back button also. Sweet. That's, yeah, that works out really well. Okay, so the one thing about the teeth, though, since I have them in here as being part of the head, because I cheated, yeah, the head is green and the teeth are green. It's not a separate subtool, and I kind of want to, set it up as a separate subtool. How do you set up the space like this? The whole interface of ZBrush is customizable. I know most people will complain about how difficult it is to use this user interface that ZBrush has, and it is at first. It's daunting at first, but once you get used to it, I wish every other program was just as customizable as ZBrush is, because it really is. You can put anything anywhere, or you can get rid of everything if you want. It's completely customizable. And that's what I love about it. So basically you just turn on customize, and you can drag and drop things wherever you want. Is there any way to get rid of sections in custom menus? I currently have too much dead space from the accidentally added functions to my menu. Yeah, that's kind of tricky. So you can get, sometimes I'll get stuck. I know exactly what you're talking about. Sometimes I'll get stuck, and I'll just kind of take a screenshot of it and put it on my second monitor and just make a new one and just start over again. Sometimes it's faster just to start over than it is to try and like remove stuff and try and add stuff back in, because it gets janky and broken really, really easily. So it's almost easier just to start over from scratch. Unfortunately, yeah, that it does get a bit janky that way. I only wish they would allow me to make my own Z modelers menu. Yeah, that's kind of, it is what it is. UI was a great jumping off point for me. I fine-tuned into my own over time. That's the best way to do it, Jacob. Absolutely the best way to do it. One of the best ways to learn ZBrush is to make your own user interface after you've used, after you've used ZBrush for a while. because then you'll start to dig into menus and find things that you didn't realize were there. You're just like, what does this do? You know. Okay, so let's combine these eyelids with the head, and I want to start to merge these things together. Merge down, merge down. There we go. So yeah, I'll go take that screenshot. Yeah, that's what I do. I just end up, I'm just like, you know what? I'm tired of wrestling this menu. I'm just gonna go start it over. When you paint or sculpt the pupils, please show your viewers how one goes about simultaneously rotating, posing the eyes. Simultaneously? I don't know if I do it simultaneously. Like, are you talking about rotating both eyes at the same time? Or are you talking about something else? Yeah, I'll rotate if the eyes are like looking in one direction, I'll rotate one eye and then I'll rotate the other one. I don't rotate them together. Unless it's cross-eyed or wall-eyed. Okay. Getting that head shape down. I might have made it a little too square. Okay, let's see. Using the M in symmetry menu. All right, Ika, have a good night. See ya. So the M? Oh, mirror symmetry? I don't know that I've ever used, that's always on. Jazzetto. I like saying that word. Do you have experience with doing hard surface in ZBrush? I do. If so, do you know of any ways to smooth the model without smoothing the edges and losing the sharp edges? It depends on what you're actually trying to do. But there are ways to smooth it without destroying. The easiest way to do that is to have creases, because and then there's this clay. Here, let me show you right here. This clay polish brush. Try this clay polish on your model and see, because clay polish will polish out the smooth areas and sharpen the sharp areas. This is a really kind of an older hidden feature that ZBrush has that works super well. I'll try them on this. I'm gonna try it on these eyebrows really quick. And it does add a mask to your surface, so you got to be careful with it. And you can hit it a couple times too. See how it's adding a mask to the creases? You can invert that mask, and you can pull things out to make them even sharper. If you want to, you can blur that mask. It's almost like having a reverse cavity mask in a way. So it'll just kind of clean things up and add edges to things and give you ideas on ways you can do stuff. Hey, what's up, Tattoon? And there's a smooth directional depending on what direction your stuff is headed. But if you run your brush down the grain of the edge, it will smooth everything except for that edge that you're going down the edge of. It's kind of hard to explain, but so for example, like see this edge on the nose. You can find a smooth directional under your light box if you hit comma and you go to brushes, and then you find the smooth brush folder. There's one called smooth directional right here. You can use that, and once you've activated that, you can go, like, see this crease right here. If I go down the length of that crease while I'm trying to smooth, it will smooth this area, and it will leave this crease alone. So that's a way you can do it as well. Okay. So somebody earlier was asking about how I merge stuff together. I feel like his mouth and all this stuff is a little too low. Like there's too much space right here, and his nose is a little too short. So now that I have everything blocked out except for his hair, I'm just going to go in here and adjust those bits first before I commit to stitching things together. Win my nose. Okay, so I'm going to put my gizmo right at the top of my nose here. I can scale it longer. Just a bit longer. What's the difference between smooth brush and smooth directional? The smooth brush will smooth on all three axes, and smooth directional will smooth down 2 of the 3 axes, ignoring the axis where you're moving your stroke. I don't know of a better way of explaining it than that. Okay, moving that down made it feel a little bit better. And I need to bend this tighter, though. I think you didn't know about clay polish. Try it out. Yeah, that's a kind of a hidden thing. Good. Okay. And I kind of want to pull this whole area back in space just for fun and see if I can get an even weaker chin. Because it's funny. I'm using this brush called Move Infinite, which it's making it so I can affect all of the geometry underneath my brush, not just on the surface. Okay. There we go. Love this guy. He's so silly. All right. I shrink that ear up just a little bit. I want to make the ear a little more pointy too, so I'm going to use AccuCurve on that ear. And pointy, make it pointy right there. Let's go topological so I'm not affecting the head. There. That's fun. Okay. Or like, I wouldn't do that if I were you, man. Okay. Oh, that's why. Okay. I'm like, I thought I was looking at this lower eyelid and I'm like, I thought I fixed that. And I look at the other side and I'm like, yeah, I did. But the symmetry wasn't turned on. So if you ever do anything that you did on one side but not the other, but it happens to be this side and not that side, mirror and weld only mirrors from left to right, screen left to screen right. And so first off, you have to mirror it. Okay, whoa, it's his whole face. Well, you know what? I think I will mirror his whole face. And then I will mirror and weld the whole thing. Let's try it. Mirror, mirror and weld. See what happens. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, that's good. Make sure symmetry is on. That's how you fix symmetry really easily, by the way. I don't know what happened here. Fix that real quick. And there was an artist presenter at the most recent ZBrush Summit that did guns for Destiny at Bungie. He had a really cool ZBrush material. I'd love to track it down. I don't, but I believe that presentation is still online. If you can find it. Looks like That's the dangers of using the move infinite brush, is you can accidentally like grab something on the opposite side that you're not looking at and, you know, mess it up. What's the difference between Z sub and Z add? Z sub is subtract and Z add is adding. So if I had this BC, where is it? BCB, what's clay buildup? Okay, so if I had this clay buildup brush, you can see that Z add is turned on and I can just add to the surface. And if I hold down Alt, it will push into the surface. That's Z subtract. So I can actually turn Z subtract on and it will do the exact same thing as pushing Alt on my keyboard. And I can push down Alt and it'll pull it out. But it's just doing the opposite of whatever this button says. So I never really touch these buttons. I leave them at the default of whatever they are. And then I just hold down Alt when I want the opposite. That's it. Yeah. Okay. So let's, yeah, somebody was saying it's a good time to save. Good time as any, right? Save it as is. Okay, now let's combine all these together. And then I'm going to make new teeth and push them in. There you go. Quick synth. Thank you. The Bungee's artist name is Dylan Mellett. Okay, here's a link to the video. There you go. Right there. Boom. Thank you very, very much. Okay. Someone was asking how I combine all these things together when I get to the point of, you know, wanting to combine them together. It looks like I'm adding density. That's okay. So basically what I do is I turn off symmetry and I move my gizmo to the center and then reset it. And then I go into this gear and I hit remesh by union. And that will stick everything together. Yeah, I'm doing it right now, Anish. Okay. I don't use Dynamesh anymore. That's because Dynamesh will quote unquote melt your object and it will not keep the creases very well. Okay, so now that I'm done, I'm going to hit accept. And now everything's stitched together. So if you look at this close, you can see that things are stitched together. So if I go to smooth this out, it's no longer two separate objects, which is really nice. Okay, and then if I want to, I can Z remesh this to get it even cleaner. But what I like to do first is just kind of get rid of all these creases that I don't want. I can smooth all of these out. I can smooth this one out. Oh, thanks, Neil. You're always on my, got my 6. Okay. Yeah, remesh by union will turn off symmetry for some reason. I have to remember to turn it back on. I'm actually going to do a mirror and weld just to make sure we're starting from the right spot. Okay, here we go. Let's start again. Okay, I'm just going to blend some of these together. This area here. You can blend the nose into the upper nose. And this area right here. And it'll keep the creases like this. Super nice. And say I want to blend it down here. Blur it away. Instead of Dynamesh, you remesh by union and use Sculptris Pro. Exactly. Yep. That's what I do. I love it. It's, yeah, like I said, it keeps all the creases. So Dynamesh would destroy all of my creases because of the way it works. Dynamesh is good for if you're exploring with, say, clay buildup. It's really great for that. But if you're like me and you would like to block your models out with primitives and then you want to stitch them all together, this is the best way to do it. in my opinion. Hey JJ, nice sculpting. What's your habits of using H polish? My habits? I will usually use H polish when I have to do something like this nose, or like this, the side of this nose. Just depends on what I need to do. I'm not quite sure what the question is on that. And I didn't crease. I like to usually pinch the upper eyelid. So I'm going to add enough geometry that I can pinch it. And then straighten it up with the move brush a little bit, like so. And then take the pinch brush. You don't want your pinch brush very big because it will drag geometry from neighboring areas. But it makes a really nice sharp edge. But you can see it's pulling the geometry into that area. And if you smooth it with Sculptris Pro, it's going to destroy it. See? Well, it's being really slow. Oh, because dynamic, that's what I was talking about. You don't want dynamic turned on. I accidentally turned it on. Go away. There you go. Okay, so see, smooth will destroy that pinch. It will still kind of hold on to it a little bit, but it will get rid of that pinch geometry. But you can pinch it as nice as this one is pinched almost. Oh, that's why. I was meaning to push S and I pushed D. D adds dynamic. It's a pretty tight crease. But you don't want it, you don't always want it that tight. Because from here, this is where you're going to see it from. Okay. And again, this chin, don't necessarily want all these creases everywhere. So you can go ahead and blend it all in. It's good what you said earlier about Dynamesh. My instructor at Noman Maddie taught us clay to build up in Dynamesh. That's also cool for, yeah. And there, so I'm just going to tell you this right now. There's no wrong method. There's no wrong method. It's all paths to get you to the final finished line. This is my method. This is my newly adjusted path. I used to use the Dynamesh production, but now once I've found and figured this out, I haven't looked back, and I no longer really use Dynamesh that much at all. And that's just my workflow, my personal workflow. So if you want to use it, that's great. If not, that's great. Do whatever you want to do that gets you there. Yeah, again, it's not wrong. It's just different. Okay, you know, I think I am going to push these teeth in and make new teeth and make them separated. You do retopology? It depends. If I'm going to take my model into a game, then yes, I will absolutely do retopology, like by hand. But if I'm going to do it for a 3D print, then I will not. We got 140. Okay. This is a little bit tighter up in here. Close this gap up a little bit. I'm using inflate to do that with. Okay. want to get rid of this, but I want to get rid of this dip, these dips. Some of us old timers will try and suggest it is a sin to use booleans just because we're doesn't mean we're booleans, don't use them. Yeah, Maya, like Maya's, well, I shouldn't talk bad about other software, but other software, I'll just say, tends to crash when you use booleans. I do retopology manually if I'm going to take it to a game engine, yes. If I'm going to just sculpt with it, I'll use the ZRemesher that's built into ZBrush. That will give you good sculpting geometry, but you will not want to give that to any rigging department because they'll come find you, search you out, and take you out. You don't want to give your rigging department a Z-remeshed mesh. They will not like you. Turned off my Sculptress. Okay, I want to adjust this a little bit now. Z-remeshed mesh is like AI. it won't quite do the job. Okay. Yeah, and they'll rig you up into the rafters. Yeah, I actually wish AI would figure out retopology. Like way better. UVs and retopology. It's getting better, but it's still not there. Still got to do it by hand. Okay. Get also tried your method while working on stylized characters since you're here. Primitive tessellate or remesh by union? For sure. Are you asking me, Tolk fan? Like, or are you saying that's what you use? Okay. It's making me laugh. Split. Because these facets are kind of looking like teeth. I do want to pull the top a little more forward so they're angled even more because it's funny. Angled teeth. Funny. Okay, now that I have that, I'm going to go in and make these deeper here. I have not seen Avatar 2. I want to. No spoilers, please. like you can spoil it. It's like the same retelling as the first one I heard. But anyway. Yeah, I do want to see it. I've heard good things. I've heard it's an effects masterpiece. Yeah, the new Pinocchio as well. I want to see that. Just need to find some time. Okay. Let's subdivide this a couple times. Trying to decide if I want to actually just put real teeth in here or just like scribe some lines in. What time we got? 1:46. Oh, do I have time for teeth? I think I have time for teeth. Teeth time. Doesn't take too long. Oh, this has subdivision levels. Turn them down, delete them. Okay. Nemo. I tried to work with the procedure you're working. I really found that's good with my stylized character. It's fast too. Oh, yeah. You are most welcome. It's 2 a.m. here. Goodness. Tell me how H polish without affecting neighboring areas? So I would use either masking or turn on topological. So this topological button, which you can find in brush auto masking topological, you can use this button to on any brush, and it will only affect the first object that you tap on. It won't affect its neighbors, and that will work for any brush, including H polish. Hope that helps you. Or masking. You can use masking as well. Real teeth are always funnier and better than not. Okay. Jump out of bed and yeah, do it. I can show you here on these teeth. So here's the masking, right? So since these teeth are masked, these teeth are not affected. I can move them around like this and it doesn't affect this. I'm going to put these in their own poly group. I'm going to hide this. They're in the same poly group. Hold on a second. Solo this out and do auto groups. I no longer need this. Delete hidden. And then we'll mirror and weld this. Okay. There. Same polygroups. Okay. So basically, if I have move turned on now, I can move both of these groups at the same time, right? But if I turn on topological, I can move this one or this one without moving them both together. That's what topological does. And there's also, oh, I took it away. Never mind. But you can turn that on for H polish as well. So with H polish, I can polish this one and that one at the same time. See, same time. Or I can turn on topological and I can only do this one. And then I can only do this one. That's how you do it. Topological for the win. Whoops. I only want this tooth. I use that topological all the time. It's like somebody's telling him a scary story. This guy. He doesn't want you to. He's like, yeah, and then what? Hey, Charlie, how are you? Is there any cheat code to enter Disney World? No idea. What's the difference between the topological and the move topological? So the move topological just has topological turned on by default inside the brush. So it's the same as pushing this button, exactly the same. Okay, let's block out his hair really quick. I don't know how fast I can do it. Let's see. Fill this. And then let's get some kind of a skin going. Thanks, Chris. And then these brows. I kind of like that color. Maybe one more. Okay. Pretty funny, this guy. Okay, let me grab this color and warm him up a little bit with some reds. Oh, gotta pick the right. There we go. Let's darken up around his eyes a little bit. Fake ambient occlusion. I'm gonna add some blue. Turn down my RGB. Not so harsh. This guy just cracks me up. No, I don't use that method, Chris. I just, I'll show you what I do. I kind of do it like I did the eyebrows a little bit. Doing mask extract gives me too messy of geometry, I find. So usually I just do like I do with everything, just start with a sphere. And then I just kind of, here, let's do this. Second here. Oh, it's okay, never mind. Somebody was at my front door and it's my kid. I'm like, I thought it was a package being delivered, but it's my son. Okay. Turn off Sculptress, make sure that's off. He's going to be bald for a second. Go back to your stream, and I thought that was true with the hand. I see a skull. Yeah. It's a fake hand. Hey, what's going on, Angry? Barely. Got 5 minutes. Hey, I made it. Okay. off. Symmetry. How did I do it? It's an overlay with the recording software or the streaming software OBS that I use. It's called Spud Arm, and it's just an overlay in OBS. I rendered out the hand, and it just has a green screen that I chroma keyed out. Oh, too much, too fast. Okay. I want that to kind of hang over like it is. Bring this up with AccuCurve. And then another one. No, I think before I do that, I'm going to mirror this. So he has some hair over here, and then, but I'm going to leave the part over here. And overlap this middle bit. Okay. I'm not going to care about the back too much right now. I'll fix it later. Hey, what's up, Mike? How are you, man? Holy cow. It's been a while. Hope you're doing well. Last question on facial skin makeup and painting, like the yellow, red, blue. Do you refer to any book or anything? No, it's just what I know, just what I've learned. So I just kind of rely on things I've learned and known from the past. Are you leaving those hair objects or separate? I'm probably going to leave them separate. I'll show you what I'm going to do here in a second. I'm going to do with these what I did with the eyebrows. Doing well. Should definitely catch up soon. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Be great to hear what you've been up to. Okay, I am gonna Z-remesh all of this though. Here, yeah, topological's on. All right. I'm gonna save this as it is before I start going crazy with the other stuff. Excuse me, I need to use Move Elastic and pull this way out some more. Need to get some little hairs back in there, but for now we're just gonna try and see what we can do with what we got. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm going to tessimate this, and that just flood fills it with more dense geometry. You can also do auto groups, so we can mask off different areas. Now I can turn my intensity up. I can smooth this out quicker. Okay, and then I can turn I can use this this carve brush to then, I'll turn on topological, see how it does. Maybe not just yet. So what's going on? Don't have symmetry on. What is happening here? Okay, strange. Make sure my masks are clear. Okay, that's what I want. Smaller. Let's see here. I do want to add another hair that's flipping out over here. Leave my hair objects separate when animating them. That works better with clunks. Yeah. It depends on if you're doing like for film or television or video games or what. With video games, you typically use hair cards. And yeah, you can rig them and animate them in chunks. So see, I can mask this bit off, go back to my carve brush, and then just kind of do what I did with the eyebrows. Just use a variety of sizes on your brush. And you can hold down Alt and pull them out. Well, let's keep them in. Just kind of makes it look like hair, kind of fun. And then what I could do is turn on Move and turn on AccuCurve and pull some of these tips out and in. Just to add some variety to the ends of these. This is weird. This go massage and finesse that up. All right, well, it looks like it's time for me to be done. I'm gonna do one more thing. I'm gonna add little pupils for the eyes. Make them dark. They'll be part of this hair, but that's okay. Just draw them on in symmetry. Too funny. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, you guys. Glad you enjoyed it. It's always a pleasure. Every day's a good day when you sculpt. I love that saying, and it's true. Thanks for hanging out. And as always, I give away my user interface and my brushes for free. There's a lot of fixing I have to do, but I ran out of time. But anyway, yeah, I give away these brushes for free, my user interface, my ruler file. You can get all that stuff over at 3dcharacterworkshop.com. And I also teach an online course that takes you through the entire process, start to finish, from beginner to advanced, all the way, the whole kit. So if you're interested in that, I highly recommend you check that out as well. All right, everybody. Thanks again for hanging out, and have a wonderful week. And I will catch you next Monday. All right. Cheers, everybody. Take care. We'll see ya.